Now let's talk about the need to stop the proliferation of small arms and light weapons in Nigeria. We're joined this hour by the Deputy Chairman, House Committee on National Security and Intelligence, Adejoto Adeogun. We saw President Buhari at the United Nations General Assembly talking about the need for global collaboration in this regard and the need to review the treaty. What would you say for you is the main take home from the conversation that was held earlier today at that public hearing?
I think the take home is a general concern by all stakeholders about the proliferation of small arms in Nigeria. And you could see that all the stakeholders are looking for ways in which we can actually secure our borders, reduce the porosity of the border, and then see whatever can be done by all stakeholders to ensure that the whole issue of small arms proliferation is addressed.
So when you hear the Navy talk about the need to stop the importation of arms and ammunition by developed countries to Africa, you wonder if that's a domestic issue that can be addressed at this gathering?
Well, I think we need to look at the context within which the person who spoke for the Navy spoke. It was about the receiving countries not having the facility to store these weapons. So what she's basically saying is there's no point giving people weapons when they don't have armories to store the weapons. So what she's saying is if you must donate weapons to these countries, you should provide a facility for, with which they can store them.
I get the point, but they are also talking about the possibility of building walls at the borders. First, do we even have a hand on the number of borders we have in Nigeria, let alone building walls to secure them?
Well, they're just suggestions. When you're looking at this situation, they look at it from all situations. Will providing borders solve the problem? I think that's what they're looking at.
I get your point. But now let's look at some of the bills that you have brought up now. We're looking at a commission here to regulate or rather against proliferation of small arms and light weapons. Can you talk to us more about what is in this document?
The bill itself is actually an attempt to domesticate an existing treaty, the ECOWAS Treaty on small arms and light weapons. So what Nigeria is trying to do is to domesticate this treaty. So the whole procedure we're passing through is to get the input of other stakeholders in Nigeria to see how this bill can be domesticated and turned into an act in Nigeria.
One of the issues that were raised perhaps would be the concern that the black market is a huge issue when it comes to how these weapons indeed get into Nigeria. We heard the representative of Navy talking about how cheap these weapons are even being sold by neighboring country. What is the lawmakers doing in ensuring that there's a more regional approach to solving this challenge?
You see, when it comes to regional approach, that's the issue of you have to look at the multilateral treaties like the one we're trying to domesticate. So it's an attempt to actually, first of all, domesticate an existing treaty because the ECOWAS Treaty on small arms and light weapons already takes care of that. But in addition to that, even the executive presented another executive bill that's supposed to complement these existing bills and then complement the ECOWAS Treaty.
All right, so let's talk about politicians and the role that we've seen them play over the years. The narrative on the street would be that politics engage the use of these weapons at pre-election year, and many of the people who use them are used by politicians who are your colleagues. Is that also something that you're concerned about and that you're also bringing into this conversation if we're going to see a lasting change to this narrative?
You see, I won't deny the fact that maybe it's a small percentage of politically exposed persons use maybe some measure of small arms in the process of electioneering. But you have to look at it that when you look generally, that number is negligible. The problem we have, the kind of weapons that are in the hands of bandits and the hands of wrong persons in Nigeria are beyond what politicians can actually afford to acquire.